Hello there, it's Mario here, back with a workout video. This time we're gonna go into workout A of the plan, which is workout ABC, so 6 days a week training, 1 day rest. Every single workout is a full body session. Every single workout has a load of volume, a lot of sets, a lot of reps, and I am training full body practically every single day. So a lot of questions have been asked when I posted the video displaying the workout B last time, so with Bulgarian squats where I went really heavy. That weight actually went up. So I'm gonna post a new one update where I increased the weight. And another question has been asked, well, how can you do full body every day? Aren't you gonna get overtrained? Aren't you gonna end up in trouble? Aren't you gonna get injured? Aren't you gonna do this or that? And a lot of assumptions have been made. So in the last workout video that I posted, that's something I wanna address a little bit here and discuss with you guys as well, how the whole assumption theory and something that we really fall into as human beings, we try to assume things, we try to predict outcome of everything basically, and that can actually hinder us from making gains, especially in the gym, let's say with training. So maybe read somewhere, well, full body is gonna overtrain you if you do it too frequently, or if you basically train too much, you will overtrain. And that is true, you can definitely overtrain. You will definitely reach a point where you cannot adapt anymore to a stressor, but how do you know where that limit is? How do you know where that limit is? And that's one thing that when I'm doing these full body sessions, I'm monitoring to see whether I'm close to my limit or not. And when I am to at exactly my limit, or when I'm surpassing my limit a little bit, I can deload, I can take a step back. Because the problem with training is that when you're increasing calories, for example, if you're going into a lean gaining phase, you don't even know what's your recovery capacity. If you, let's say, been in a caloric deficit for a while, you don't even know how much your body can actually handle. And one thing with assumptions, if I was assuming all this time, I would probably not be able to make any gains, because there was always something to assume. And assumption is really the root cause of a lot of errors that we make in our training, in our nutrition, is we try to predict things, but we don't try out enough of things. So we want to move more into action, taking action, implementing, try it out. What does it cost to try it out and see? Maybe you will actually discover something that works specifically for you that might be completely against what the conventional wisdom is saying, or even the experts, even the evidence-based crowd in the fitness and nutrition world. Most of the studies is based around an average value, around a mean value. So certain things that are even portrayed as good for the majority of people might actually be quote unquote bad for you, might not work for you. So it's always good to try out different things and see what exactly works for you. I'm telling you from the perspective of someone who is reading the research, someone who is following everything that is coming out, all the cutting edge science, and it's still all about the average. It's still all about the mean value. There's always outliers. There's outliers who respond incredibly well to certain things, and there's outliers who respond horribly to certain things. And this is across the board with everything related to nutrition, with training. There's literally no part that is just, everybody that responds the same, which is interesting, and it's supposed to be like that. Human bodies are unique, right? And here I want to point a little bit of attention to the dumbbell overhead pressing. I actually went down in weight on these since I've actually been improving my form a little bit. So I've had issues with overhead pressing in general, with my back getting a little bit too much of that tilt there, and my back gets hyperextended, and that's a little bit of an issue. So I went into weight back, and I try to repair my form and build it up again. Here I'm doing pull-ups, and as you can see, I'm making a little pause in the bottom position. I do a full stretch. I also go all the way up, and I make sure that I get the full range of motion. So, I could probably load up more weight, but it's not gonna be the right form. So what I'm implementing right now, and what I'm working on as well with these training sessions, is a zero tolerance policy for poor technique. So if I don't get the 100% technique, I don't count that as a rep at all, right? So if it's not 100% technique, it's not a rep. And here I'm gonna do, you see me doing push-ups, 25 reps, 25 was the target. Got 4 sets of these. These went pretty well. I'm pretty happy with the form. I'm pretty happy with the tightness as well. They went pretty well. I always get a really good pump from doing push-ups. And I think this is a very underestimated movement in general. I don't think guys, when you tell them, hey, push-ups, people assume that, oh, that's something you would do at home. That's not something you would do in the gym. So it's an often underestimated movement that has a lot of potential when it comes to building chest, especially if you're someone who's worried about your shoulders, you're worried about the discomfort on the bench, you feel like you're getting pains and things like that. I think push-ups, are a great replacement movement, or in general, a staple movement of your routine, which can be included as one part of your routine. And as you can see there, I've added a plate even on my back, which I can do myself. I don't need a lot of assistance with that. It's a little bit harder to progress if your gym doesn't have decent increments in plates, so you have to kind of tie them together, and it gets a little bit messy, but it gets the job done, and it is possible, as you can see there. Here I'm doing the unilateral leg curl. I'm doing these separately. When I do them separately, I actually take a mini break between, which I haven't seen a lot of people do. So I take it with the left, which is my weaker side first, then I'm going to do the right. I actually needed to take a little bit more rest here between, because my right wasn't as strong as my left when I started. So it's always good when you're doing unilateral movements, when one side is working, to take a little bit of a break between, as you can recatch your breath, you can be ready to attack the next part, basically the other side, whatever you're doing. Here I'm doing reverse cable flies, also a movement that I don't see a lot of guys doing here, and it's not a lot of weight. This is 10 pounds, it's not a lot of weight, and it's still, for me, I'm still doing 10 reps and I'm still not happy with the form, right? So I'm still working on the form. I want to improve the form. I want to also get to 14 reps with 10 pounds before I move on to the next weight. And these movements are very sensitive, so you don't want to go too high in weight. You don't want to turn it into some kind of ridiculous compound movement. This is an isolation movement. The goal is to make the shoulder work. As you can see here, I'm adjusting my form still, and it's a really important movement for me, for my posture and for what I'm doing, and it can be extremely helpful. This combined with face pulls, I've noticed a lot of difference in terms of my rear delts, as well in general as my posture has improved a lot. Now I'm gonna move into some curls. This is the end of the workout, and here you see I'm leaning forward a little bit to contract and to get that awesome contraction. I'm leaning backward a little bit to get a more of a stretch. So that's pretty cool with the cable curls you can do, and especially if you're facing away from the pulley, which gives you a little bit more of that stretch, which is really interesting to see. My arms get an enormous pump from doing this. It's incredible. After the first set, it's amazing, right? I wish they were looking like that all the time. And this is an incredible movement. Again, when you do these movements that are one-arm movements or isolation movements, you want to pick a pulley machine that has a lot of increments. So this one particularly here has a lot of steps. So next time, when I reach 15 reps to target for this weight, I can easily go a little bit above. In a standard pulley, there's high jumps. Sometimes you need to jump 10 pounds of an increase, which is a lot. So I'll drop, if I reach 15 reps with that, and next time I need to add 10 pounds on each side, that's a lot of weight. I might even just get 6-7 reps. It's gonna take me a while to build up to 15 again. So if you have a pulley that has many more increments, that will allow you to actually progress the movement faster and just take a little bit of a less of an, I guess you can preserve a little bit more volume and less of a risk to break down your form. And an interesting thing is as well is that you want to make sure that you have in your training plan that you're getting those reps before you move on to the next weight, when you actually master the technique, before you actually add weight, which is a huge thing that I see a lot of guys missing out on. So hope you guys enjoy this little workout here. You see these strict form seated calf raises, not a lot of weight, that really hit the calves hard, and I feel them an awesome stimulants from this on 17 reps. And as I said, hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know in the comments below what you think about the workout. Aside from that, make sure to hit that subscribe button below to support the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.